Hi, it's Dustin Lanier. Thanks for listening. Please find me on LinkedIn for original public sector operations content every week. And please reach out to me if I and my team of procurement professionals at Civic Initiatives can help you be a public procurement change agent. Good afternoon. It's Friday, March 4th, and I'm going to do the read through on the Five for Friday post from today, where I pull forward items that are interesting to people who are in public sector and public procurement. So, of course, given the ongoing crisis in the Ukraine, it'd be hard to do a list that talks about public sector that doesn't have some take, and I found two that I thought were interesting. First, from the Procurement with Purpose blog, there was a discussion about the ethical questions that are ahead for procurement in terms of what is going to be the impact. It says, I assume public sector buyers will start adding new clauses to supplier qualification documents. Have you ever supported an invasion of another sovereign nation? Tick yes, no, as it were. This sounds flippant, but there are already several questions in public sector tenders covering areas such as corruption and tax evasion. It also describes the creation of procureforpeace.org, where it's described as a movement to mobilize and coordinate global procurement communities' energy towards helping Ukraine and at the same go provide information and best practice sharing for procurement organizations addressing challenges in Ukraine. Second, there was an article by Steve Killman related to the democratic transformation in Ukraine since 2014. And it delves into a procurement system in the Ukraine called Prozoro, which was the Ukrainian word for transparency. And in that case, it was a pretty straightforward system to give wide visibility to procurements and to solicit digital bids for reverse auction technology. To quote out of the article, most Americans will doubtless be puzzled to learn that one of the first priorities of the new government, starting almost as soon as it came into power, was to develop a new procurement system for the country. Why? The answer is that government procurement was an important part of what was wrong with the old system. The system made little information available to the public about how government money was spent, and more importantly, the system was rife with corruption. Third, NASPO, which is the National Association of State Procurement Officials, released a new case study on warehousing and logistics, which has information from 5 states' experience during the pandemic. Those states are Oregon, Utah, Virginia, Florida, and California. So an interesting piece for those of you who are thinking forward into warehousing and logistics and how it all fits together. Fourth, NIGP kicked off their Chapter Academy with a pep rally this week. So what is Chapter Academy? It's a gathering of leaders from across all of the NIGP chapters around the country, and they end up having 2 representatives per chapter, so 130 plus some odd, and it's a real focus on how to build vibrant chapters and how to make that community be valuable and be able to get people to want to participate and to volunteer and help build community locally, which is very important. In the speech that I give on how to attract and retain talent, I talk about how important it is to try to build that kind of network. We are a repeat sponsor of the Chapter Academy. Happy to do it and happy to toss in and participate. And then finally, of course, it is Procurement Month. So Procurement Month is something where people get charters and proclamations declaring it as Procurement Month, and it celebrates the work that people do in procurement. It's something that also tends to get people to come out and post on LinkedIn, maybe in that once a year kind of way, to talk about the things that they buy and the things they do. So I always enjoy Procurement Month because we see new people pop up and then they go back to being busy. So if you are in public procurement, please chime in with what you do and how you contribute and let us celebrate you. I also then posted that in Procurement Month, we are, in addition to the Chapter Academy, which I mentioned that we just did, we are doing the North Carolina show and the Virginia show towards the end of the month. The Carolina show is on the 16th and the Virginia show is on the 20th. I have 2 speaking opportunities at the Virginia one and looking forward to all of it. Thanks for listening in. Next week, we're going to pull back the covers a little bit on Civic and talk about some of the hiring that we're going to be doing based on some growth that's going on, and giving a little bit of insight into how we think about that and what we're looking for. So take a look and tell us what you think, and have a great weekend.